was the right channel. Good morning. It's Monday morning. It is the September the 21st. 2020. I did a little bit of recording this morning. I went for an early swim. In fact, I'm still a little bit cold, to be honest, because it wasn't actually cold. It was just that it's September the 21st and somehow the sun wasn't out yet. It was just coming up, and it was pretty deserted on the beach, and that's how it's lovely with the dog I go, and he didn't want to swim today. Waves, were a few waves there. But yeah, I did go in eventually. Had a little swim. And I needed that today to sort of be in my body, to feel the water around me, because we are living through very strange times at the moment, and I'm sure you're all feeling it. I'm a follower of Donna Maxine, who writes the energies, and then you have Pam Gregory, who does the horoscopes, and there are many who give information about how the times are playing out at the moment, the planets, people. Not always easy to align with yourself, is it, at the moment? Much to be riled about, in my case anyway. But I listened to an Esther Hicks this morning. I haven't listened to her for ages, actually. I used to be quite a regular listener to her. In fact, there were times where I was working so much that I needed to listen to an Esther Hicks in the morning to get myself going and into a higher vibrational state, because as much as I enjoy a change, this is quite drastic, isn't it? Now, we have the Equinox today, which is interesting always, because I have been celebrating. Oh yeah, I was playing my drum this morning and it was all damp. Listen how damp it is. And now I've put it in the sunshine. It's no longer flat. No longer flat. Where the sunshine. It's better. Just needed a little sunshine. Just as well we are not drums, eh? Like these skin drums, when it's damp. We all need sunshine. We all need sunshine. Always sound a little flat. We are more flat when the sun isn't shining, aren't we? Today we had sunshine. Today we have sunshine. We are not a drum. No, we are not a drum. I was thinking that, because this drum is good now, but it needed sunshine. And although I know we all need sunshine, but we are coming into autumn now. And then we have the winter. We just gloom and doom for the winter of discontent, I heard. Or not. Well, it's not going to be an easy winter. Or not. But this little session I did with myself this morning brought me to resonance. Resonance. What do you resonate with? Because I you know, I get very angry when I read posts people defending the masks for security reasons. I've been quite lucky with these live streams, particularly with the book readings. You know, I've been reading, I've just finished last week Prelude to the Landing on Planet Earth by Stuart Holroyd. It was published in 1977 and I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was such an interesting journey, and because I believe what is in these books, it sort of makes it more dramatic rather than like a novel. But I think many good books are dressed up as a novel and are in fact, you know, I remember discovering Joan Marshall Grant in, oh I don't know, must be 12 years ago or something. I read her book called Winged Pharaoh, about the old Egyptian times and the pharaohs and how they had a psychically aware person and a lion, and it was amazingly described. In fact, she was an amazing writer, and she came out of a really affluent house actually. Her mother was a society psychic and her father was a doctor and discovered something about malaria. So even as a child, Joan Grant already used to help her dad dissecting mosquitoes and stuff. So she had a really sharp mind, and she had dreams, and she was able to see dead people. And her mother always said to her to keep it to herself. Anyway, she became a writer. She wrote her first novel with 16, I think. And I think that was The Winged Pharaoh, I think. I don't keep these facts in my head, but she always knew about her previous lives. She was a seer. I mean, she was a trained seer. She was trained as a seer in, I think, the Eyes of Horus. Or was it... no. She was trained as a seer in The Winged Pharaoh. And she describes how she was trained, how she had to go into a cave with, I think maybe... No, alone. And travel the underworld. And anyway, that happened thousands of years before this existence as... Joan Grant, and the reason why she was called Joan Marshall Grant is because she was married to Marshall, a guy called Marshall, who in fact has an estate in Bewley, here on the Dorset coast. That was such a surprise to me when I learned that Joan Grant lived here and was married to a guy called Marshall and lived on this estate, which is now the Motor Museum in Bewley. So, and I've been there because the Treehouse venue is there, which is a beautiful area here in this. I'm very blessed where I live. It's beautiful. We have the New Forest and then we have the sea. And the decision, I don't know, 11 years ago to move here was a very good one. Anyway, Joan Grant. Joan Marshall Grant. She also wrote Life as Carola, where she was born in 1534 or something. But she was born in that book as the character Carola. She was born on the 4th of May. I remember reading that. And my daughter was born on the 4th of May. So I thought, oh, that's interesting. Anyway, she wrote various novels, all as a seer, and her novels were always acclaimed as she was supposed to be a very well-researched writer and author. But of course, she was more than well-researched. She described her previous incarnation. So yeah, what brought me to Joan Grant? One of these coincidences, you know, synchronicities. You go to a books market and then somebody hands you a book and says, I think you'd like that, and you see it's Joan Grant's autobiography or biography. And that's how I got to know about her years and years ago. And it always struck me as so interesting, somebody who can remember their previous lives so clearly that they can write a book about it. And when she was 17 or 18 or something, before she was married, her father was great friends with H.G. Wells. I remember that. And he came to one of the, cocktail parties or whatever, and she was allowed to attend and so on, and she had always mixed with adults, actually, Joan. She had a big dog, and she told H.G. Wells about her story and why she knows so clearly what happened 5,000 or 6,000 years ago, because I think she writes about Ra as well, Joan Grant. But anyway, in The Winged Pharaoh, she writes about the life as a seer, and she explains it all to H.G. Wells, and he said to her, you should publish it. It's a wonderful novel, but please do not say that you're a seer. Just say you're an author, because otherwise you'll never be heard if you're making out that this is the truth. So she did. She was amazed that it was picked up from the publisher straight away, which is unheard of really for such a young author. And she basically gave it over and just gave her normal biography of who she is, the daughter of, and so on. And a few months later, she was saying she was astonished because when the publishing date came about, the local bookshop had all the books of the Winged Pharaoh put up like a pyramid. And she was so amazed about it because she never thought it would get such a big acclaim from an unknown authoress for her first novel. So I'm sure I'm not making this up. It's been years and years that I discovered her. But I've always loved her book, and in The Eyes of Horus there is an embalming scene where she describes in great detail how they embalm a body. So she was incredibly talented as a writer, but primarily she was a seer, and that's why she wrote these books. Anyway, why am I talking about Joan Grant? Well, I guess I'm talking about Joan Grant because I feel that we're in a great consciousness shift, not that you haven't noticed. And where are you? And listening to Esther Hicks this morning was really good because she says the whole purpose of desire is to calibrate us. And because it's so difficult to get yourself into a high vibration at the moment, for me anyway, sometimes it's hard because there's so many truths come out and so much regulations and so much control and so much nonsense that you think, how deep is this rabbit hole really? And what really helps me greatly is to understand that if I allow myself to have a desire, and then I have to match that with a belief, and I think that's where we are blocking ourselves very often. We have a desire and we dream about something, and then our ego or reality says this will never happen, and so you stop in your tracks. Esther was saying, or Abraham was saying, that we take score too early. We take score too early. Because this is such a dense planet, the material manifestation of something playing out takes time. And I am one of the most impatient people, I can tell you. When this all started in March, I was as scared as anybody. Well, I wasn't really. I wasn't really scared. Why is that? It's probably because I haven't had a cold for I don't even know when. I'm not saying that I'm always 100%. I remember when my father was in a coma, I was very unwell, and when he passed away, I had stomachache, and occasionally in the last few months, I've had a churning stomach. And then I need to align myself again, because I know that I have to attract it rather than assert it. It was really healthy for me to listen to Esther this morning, in a way, because I think she probably, as Esther Hicks, struggles with this herself, and she used to have Jerry in her life, who was like an eternal optimist, you know, when she used to say people are so mean, and then Jerry would say mean people are mean, you know. And that's a really, I mean, I've listened to this before. I listened to her when she was still, you know, when he was still around and she was not a widow. Come on, I have my dog here. It's better than barking, isn't it? Come on. I remember when she lost her husband, and how hard that must have been for her. I remember it well because it was, I think, 2011. And I didn't have a husband very soon after anymore either. Shit happens. And sometimes then you find that actually that wasn't such a bad thing, was it? Music always helps me, you know. I was just telling my daughter this morning that it's been rather nice because she works in the children's home, so she's been working. But I have not been working as such, not at least for any gainful employment, but I have been doing a lot. Much of it is about freeing your mind, isn't it? I have some good friends, we're talking, and what I find is the most, the hardest job is to change your perspective. I mean, I'm a great fan of Dr. Wayne Dyer, who unfortunately is also not around anymore. Well, at least not in the physical. Of course he's around. We have enough channels now on this planet who probably channel Wayne Dyer. And the thing is, for me, in my belief system, I love good channeling. And when you resonate with something, then you resonate it, you know, then you resonate with it. If you don't resonate, then you know something isn't right. And I like Esther's talking for the positivity, actually, because she will always say, you know, your higher being, your higher self, if you believe in such a thing, but even Freud could explain it, and all these psychologists, when they started, could explain what this was, that we're not, you know, that we're distinguished from the animals insofar that we have 2 hands and 5 fingers, or 4 fingers and a thumb on each. But it's all about perception, and I remember my daughter studied NLP some time ago, and it's rather interesting because it seems to me as if NLP has been used in an inversion, you know, in a way it should. These techniques were discovered or taught and learned, like gamma and theta, all these new elements of healing yourself, rather than taking medication from the pharma industry, have had great success. I mean, it is no doubt that the forces which are not on our side are using the same techniques as maybe you would in your own self-healing, like repetition and so on. And I think that's why we have a bit of a problem. Because meditation is so important. After reading these 2 books, I realize it's even more important than I ever realized. But not so much only for me, you see. There we come to the difference of the matter. Are you just meditating for your own gain and gainful employment, or are you actually meditating for the greater good, you know? And I don't mean communism with that, because we've tried all those things over the centuries, and somehow there's a bugbear every time which destroys all the good work of the good people. And so maybe, apart from you creating your own reality, I strongly believe that always. You are the creator of your own reality, Heike. Right? Write that behind your ears. But there we are. Oh, it's a bit dusty because this is going to be a sales pitch. Just getting to it in a minute. Because there is the bugbear. The bugbear is the money, isn't it, guys? Whichever way we turn it. The bugbear is the money, and I need some as well because universal credit. What's this word anywhere? I've been ranting about that. This benefit I'm supposed to be getting. They deducted electricity and gas and arrears, and then I'm not going to do anything about it, and I'm not happy about that. So I have to sell some stuff. I am at home within myself, wherever I am, in my family, in my community, in my country, in the world. I made this 2015, July. It's actually a present for somebody, but I never saw them again. So, maybe it's not a coincidence that it's still around. Anyway, that must have been the early days when I started this. And affirmations and memories and touchstones. Because I had so many little things. I had so many little stones. Look, this little... Yeah, and I did a lot of that. So I want, I'm always on the beach anyway with my dog. So I collected little shells. And then we all have sort of necklaces and stuff. I think this comes from a necklace. Oops, what is it there? I thought it was beautiful. Anyway, over the years I accumulated quite a lot of little things and stuff. And so I've done workshops over the last 4 years with these, with these frames I prepare. Something I prepared earlier. They usually start as a heart, and then sometimes they end up as a heart, and they're the backgrounds, they're all numbered. And then you take the background, and I'm not sending you the letters or the things, not just this frame on its own with a little number and the year when I did it, which is the last, 19 and 20, because all the others are used up. And created and recreated. That's why I called my page Recreating Reality, because it was simply little things I used to have in boxes and earrings and stuff where you miss one, or bracelets where this clasp is gone, and it's hanging around, and yeah. So I used all of that, and I've got my flat full of stuff here. This was actually a mistake, I remember it well, because well, it was a mistake because the paint started to drip. And when this paint dripped, then I thought, oh no, now I have to do it. And then I just left it as it was, and I thought, why don't I just work with what I've got? And so it says, forget, just a minute. What did I say to myself there? Forget mistakes, forget failures, forget everything, except what you're going to do now, and do it today, because today is your lucky day. So there you are. And I love that very much, and I worked on it quite a long time, because what I found is that when I just want to distract myself with some gainful activity, and it's not cleaning my wardrobe, but I want to be creative, and I want to sort of express myself, which is actually not something I always used to do. My gardening used to be my expression of creativity, and I love gardening. But I know I'm gardening here now, but I'm not so much on the treadmill anymore. I used to work in Canary Wharf for years, not in the posh bit, because I was a merchant trader. So I used to trade fish and seafood and lobsters and prawns and things like that in big quantities from overseas. So I traveled a lot to India and places like that. And this music making is a break. Wasn't really a break, but it was following my bliss, really, when I decided that, which seemed a mad thing back in 2010. But then I think most of my friends are unusual. None of them wear masks, because that's where we come to resonance, What is becoming clear is now that we have been deceived. And there's lots of truth out there, and I think by now I realize that it doesn't matter if somebody doesn't hear you. It doesn't matter what you're saying, because assertion, as Esther says, there's no such thing as assertion in this universe. Everything is attraction. So, you know, I think all of us are getting lessons at the moment. I certainly have learned a lot about myself, and, you know, the belief in illness is detrimental to us, you know, and a belief in health is beneficial. And as much as I was rallying against these dark forces, ultimately everything starts with myself. So what am I going to do about it? And reading the books, which I thought were very informative, because to me it emphasized the need of unity, because you know, many people have been fighting the system, and the system has been fighting back, and so that has made us feel disempowered, because when shit happens you always think it's your fault. Well, I do anyway. I just think, oh my God, what did I do wrong? What did I do wrong? And you know, when you study you realize that actually, well, your mistake was believing in a system which is not having my best welfare in mind. Wow, that's hard to fathom, because we all consider ourselves as free, and suddenly you discover actually you are only as free as they want you to be, as long as you pay your taxes and everything. And maybe this is the very big, maybe this is the big realization, because I think extraterrestrials have been here for a long time. I don't think that would be a disclosure to me. But then it depends on your belief. Belief and value. Belief is individual and value is intrinsic. And there we come back. Sorry, I lost my sale pitch. So, I had originally put them on for £25 and it was too expensive. My first one I sold to a friend, actually. I didn't sell it via Facebook because I think it's a bit pricey. So, because I need some money, I actually hate parting from them, but I will post them today, and I hope I'm going to sell a few of them. If not all, whatever happens, happens. But I will charge £18 per frame, which includes postage within the UK. Just let me know where you are if you are interested. I will post them one after the other. I think, I don't know, I'm not a real marketeer, which is funny as I've been in trading so long. This is number 12. This is number 6. This is number 21. This is number 25. I know it looks dark, right? But I remember having at a workshop afterwards, she told me, and I had such fun seeing the creations afterwards. In one of my workshops, she was really upset that she got a black frame, almost black, you know. And I said, well, it doesn't have to remain black, you know, you can use, like I do, you know, you use glitter or whatever. You can cover it up completely. I mean, this is, I don't know when I made this, I didn't even write on it. Must have been maybe 4 or 5 years ago. You know, I used a leaf which I had pressed before, and I said you can completely transform it. It doesn't have to stay black. It's just a background, you know. I got a bit wild here. I don't know where the heart is. Number 10. So that's number 10, and then number 11. You can still see the heart there. Now, okay, they might look quite busy, but I assure you, you can change them utterly. I have seen so many creations, because it's more about the doing, not just the taking as it is. Just make it as an affirmation. We all have things to say to ourselves, and very often we say to ourselves things which are not very empowering. So we have to change the way we look at things, and then the things you look at change. I did one here as well. I actually hung that up. I was going to show this last week. and then I forgot all about it. I must have done this in 2017. Celebrate life, as I say, celebrate life, love, nature and friends. Now I did this 3 years ago, and I did it actually quite quickly, because when we do the workshops I often walk around and have chats with the people who are making them. But I wanted to make one as a memento and as a touchstone from that lovely weekend retreat I had with Krista, and it was really lovely. And there's a little leaf, so you can put on there what you like. And listen, if you receive it and something has fallen off, just use a bit of glue and put it back on. This is not Van Gogh's, how shall I say, oh, never mind. Oh yeah, and here is one which went actually, well, I don't think it went wrong, because actually it's just emerald green, but number 7. But the paint ran. So there you are. So there's a nice back canvas. £18. Never done this in one of my... You know what, I've used these to prop my iPad up on when I do these. Right, I thought, in good old tradition, I have not paid one clip of drumming. That's not on, is it? Because I'm not forgetting the drumming. I mean, I drum myself, and I accompany myself, and I play with friends, small groups. I'm not going there now though, because I don't want this to be a rant. Because you have to be a match to... This was singing for fun. Why don't we do that? 2015. Because I'm happy, you know what happiness is to you. Because I'm happy, and that's what you want to do. Because that news story thing lasts. Give me all you got, don't hold it back. As you probably want, you are gonna lie. No offense to you, no offense to I. It's me on, because I'm happy. Jenny Newman. Happy. Yeah, that was me. I'm sorry. I'm not the best of singer, but that's where we are. We're all judged for being good or bad singer or whatever. Good, bad drummer. Just harmonize, yeah? Just harmonize with your fellow human being and don't fight them and... Ooh, you know? Okay, I have to have one last trip here. Well, okay. I'm not going to do a drumming clip. I'm going to do this again, because I've done half an hour now, and I think I'll share this minute with you guys. Tim Wheater at the Beehive Studio, 29th of February 2015. Actually, I thought that was Tim doing his sounding, but he didn't. This was actually him playing the flute. I listened to his flute playing quite a lot, actually, because I think it's very empowering. I also found an old Teal Scott then workshop on my YouTube channel, which was in 2013. I had forgotten, well, I hadn't forgotten about it, but I hadn't thought about that for a long time. Now, where is the one where he does the sound? I wanted to share that, but now of course I can't find it. Oh well, if I don't find it, I don't find it. What is that? This is a wee drum gathering in Tipperary in 6 years ago. Dinner table. Female drum chums. One guy. Yay! And then, well, I think we had finished our dinner, but that was really good. Okay, now I was going to finish, and what shall I finish with? Some good drumming for a good vibe. A little clip from Midnight Drumming in Hawaii, and then I say bye-bye. I haven't said bye-bye yet, okay? A few more minutes, because my Drumshare channel has got the very first video on there, which actually describes what you're doing in a drum circle if it's loads of people, because you have to have a little bit of order. How can I see it now? That's funny. How can I see it now? Because usually I see it straight away when I go on it. Why am I not seeing this now then? Because it starts off with saying, and we have a little dialogue, which is at the Quest Festival in 2014, I think it was. And now I can't find it. Why is that then? That's really odd. So we're not going to have a little dialogue. No, it's not here. Maybe. I'm just going to go into oldest drum circles. My very oldest. Because this is a long time ago that I did this quest. And it was just a nice example of when you have done the facilitator training of how you can get people to do rhythm together as a dialogue. I'd like a good dialogue here. Give me a good dialogue. Give me a good dialogue. No, this is too old. This is too big. This is too loud. Sorry guys, it might only be me who looks at this in a few years' time, but so what? I have friends who do look sometimes. No, I can't find it, can I? Okay, then I will just finish with something else. I think I might finish with a song. There you are. Hey ya, hey ya, hi. Hey ya, hey ya, hey ya, hi. Sing the song to the earth. Hey ya, hey ya, hey ya, hi. Hey ya, hey ya, hey ya, hi. Hey ya, hey ya, hey ya, hi. Sing the song to the earth.
Perfect. So the women, then yours is ya, ya, hi, ya, ya, hi, ya, ya, hi. Sing a song to the sky. Ya,
ya, hi. Ya, ya, hi. Ya, ya, hi. Sing a song to the sky. Ya, ya, hi. Ya, ya, hi. Ya, ya, hi. Sing a song to the sky. Ya, ya, hi. Ya, ya, hi. Ya, ya, hi. Sing a song to the sky.
So what happens is, the men sing, the women sing, so the men sing to the women sing to the men, we sing together. The men sing to the women sing to the men, we sing together. Should we give it a go?
Yeah.
Good luck. I'm taking no responsibility for how to do that. Ready, over here, going.
Hey ya, hey ya, hey ya, hi. Hey ya, hey ya, hey ya, hi. Hey ya, hey ya, hey ya, hi. Sing a song to the earth. We got it wrong there. So actually this always gets me in a good mood, and I think after all is said and done, you have to find the resonance of the way you want it to be. You can only match what you attract. Now this is not an easy one. Look where you are. Look how you feel. Does it resonate? Can you breathe freely? Because breath is life. Can you breathe freely? Because breath is life. I release control and surrender to the flow of love that will heal me. I release control and surrender to the flow of love that will heal me. There's a new world being born. There's a new world being born. When has the birth been easy? Only in hindsight. Try to make it as easy as you can. Try to make it as easy as you can. I release control and surrender to the flow of love that will heal me. As one, we walk this earth together. there we are hoping that we will find unity. We are in a process. We're being challenged. We find resistance. Let's not have a limiting mindset. Let's expand, not detract. More people are good than bad. I believe that. It's a sifting. And as I said, I'm selling the frames now. What did I say? £18. And I send them when you PM me. I put them on the Facebook. I sold my first one to a friend, never via Facebook. And I will post them all because I need to make some loot, guys. I will post this now and then you can watch it again, and I will also put it on YouTube. And lovely to see you, Alison and Helena.